Coco and Chi Chi here with What Do You Say? And we're here to talk about words and phrases that non-native English speakers may find challenging. And today, Chi Chi seems to have something she would like explained to her. Take it away, Chi Chi.
So a few days ago I read hi Coco, I forgot to say hi to you. Anyway, a few days ago I read a horoscope kind of thing, zodiac horoscope, whatever it is, and there's like they mentioned it's CUSPS, Cusp. I don't know how to pronounce
Cusp.
it.
Cusp. Yeah.
Cusp.
So cusp.
Cusp. Cusp.
Yeah.
Cusp.
It might be. I'm guessing non-native English speakers would find it difficult to say, because when you think about it, it's 2 syllables. Do you know what syllables are?
Yeah.
Syllables are like
V, B, C.
Yeah, phonetic intervals.
Yeah, like VB.
Yeah, or like 2 syllables would be like bubble.
Yeah,
or
B and
open. That's 2 syllables. Where 3 syllables would be like different.
Oh, is that what you mean by syllable? Oh yeah. Oh my god.
That's
the whole time I
syllables
thought you were talking about the consonant and
vowels.
Oh my god. So
yeah, syllables are a bit more advanced. They're more in terms of phonetics and audio. So a 3-syllable word would be different. Different. See? The 3 intervals of sound. So cusp, I believe
cusps.
I believe if you listen to it carefully, it's 2 syllables because it's cus and then
Cusps.
cusp.
Cusp.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yay! I made it.
Yeah.
See?
So you got to think of it as like 2 syllables or 1.5 syllables. So cusp. Because that
Cusps.
cusp.
How about the
Because that p at the end, you actually got to sound it out.
How about with the S at the end?
Cusps.
That's what's hard.
Yeah, when you make it a plural, when you add an S there.
Cusps.
Yeah. Yeah, so today the word we're wondering about is cusp.
Yeah.
Which I believe is 2 syllables or 1.5 syllables, because the first syllable would be cus and then the second syllable is p. Just the sound of the P when you pronunciate the purple. People. If you have a stutter, you'll be yeah. But it's so cusp. You want to give it another go?
Cusp.
Yeah, that's it.
Cusp.
Cusp. Now,
Cusp.
how about when you add an S to the end to make it a plural? Cusps.
Cusps. I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
So why did you laugh earlier at me? I did it exactly that way.
No, when I heard it, it was like.
Did I? We have to go back to the recording and see later.
Yeah, but
If
don't worry,
you
you did
win,
it
you
well.
buy me a crispy pork fried rice.
Crispy pork fried rice.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I've been like
crisp.
obsessing over that.
The word crisp is just like
Crisp.
Yeah. Now that you're thinking about it, you can't say it.
Human being mind is weird.
Crisp.
Crisp.
Yeah. Crisp.
Crisp.
Yeah. See?
Cusp.
That's how cusp is said.
Cusps.
Yeah. Cusps.
Okay.
Yeah. There are many cusps along the aqueducts that lead to Rome.
Please don't add another complicated word for me to ask.
I
But
was just making a phrase.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's the meaning of that? Of
Cusp?
cusps.
Okay, so when you heard it in terms of reading astrology, because you were talking about horoscopes,
Mm-hmm.
zodiac signs, and I guess we could call it the Western idea of I don't know, reading the stars.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Western? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we're not here to talk about
Yeah. Not just
zodiacs
zodiac.
and Western zodiacs and such. But they do talk about cusps in there. So in terms of horoscopes and zodiacs and star signs,
Mm-hmm.
cusp means that if someone is born as a cusp,
Mm-hmm.
that means they are born very close between two, the transition line between two horoscopes, or the line between two horoscopes.
Mm-hmm.
For example, Capricorn Capricorn comes before Aquarius. I think they're too hard to say. Let's name an easier one. Leo is before Virgo. So it's Leo and then Virgo. The date where Leo becomes Virgo is, I think it's August 23rd.
Why don't you just use your own Libra, Scorpio?
Okay. Well, whatever. Okay. Leo, Scorpio, I think the transition is on the 22nd of August. At least in the southern hemisphere, I think it's the 23rd of August.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're born directly on the cusp here in the southern hemisphere, you are born on the 23rd because you're technically on the ending day of Leo,
Mm-hmm.
but you're also on the beginning day of Virgo.
So
Would it be the ending day? Maybe the ending day would
starting
be
day. Wait.
yeah, it's definitely the starting day of Virgo.
Yeah. So does it mean that?
So that is the direct cusp. That is like the complete cusp.
So is it like does it mean that cusp mean that something in the middle?
Yeah, you could say it's somewhat in the middle. They are like the sacred indigo children that, are born with almost an equal balance of both sides of life.
Oh, that aside.
Maybe
What is
in
the
belief
general
of it.
meaning?
Yeah, so I will explain that.
Mm.
The general meaning is when you're on the line between two things.
Mm.
It's when you're on the line or close to the line of two things. Because for example, in horoscopes and in zodiac,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to be born on the 22nd, the 21st, or the 23rd of August to be a cusp Leo Virgo. Yeah, they call it depending on what cusp you were born close to,
Mm-hmm.
you're either called a cusp Leo Virgo, a cusp Virgo Libra, cusp, like I mentioned before, Capricorn Aquarius.
Mm.
You don't have to be
Oh.
born on the exact day where the new one starts. You could be born close to it. Some people are considered cusps. We'll go back to our example with Leo and Virgo.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, the starting day of Virgo, I think, is the 23rd. Even 7 days before that, which would be August the 16th, even that can be considered cusp.
Mm.
Because it's somewhat close to the transition day.
Okay, so what is the perfect word to like translate it? Because I assume not like that many people is interested in zodiac, but
Yeah.
is there another way to use it?
Yeah,
to
of
use the
course.
word?
Yeah, I'm only explaining it in zodiac right now.
Oh, okay.
So the main idea when I use the explanation and example of zodiac is
Mhm.
it is the line of that separates two things.
Mm.
For example, two star signs,
Mm.
Leo and Virgo. They're two completely different star signs.
Mm.
And the thing that separates them is the
Mhm.
cusp.
Mm.
Now, if we want to get into other fields of knowledge or other industries or other ideas, cusp can also be considered geometrically or graphically. Graphically, you can understand cusp because cusp. Yeah, when I had a quick googie, I had a quick googie. I'll admit because I know what cusp means in horoscopes, but in technical terms, when we talk graphically, cusp is when two curves meet each other to create a point.
Oh.
To understand that two curves meeting each other to make a point, it's like when you draw waves. When you draw cartoon waves, like it curves up
Mm.
and then it creates a point, and then you start curving down to another direction, and you eventually curve up again to make a sharp point, and then you curve down. So those sharp points, they're known as cusps.
Does it only apply to curve, or it can be like straight line, like in form of like triangle?
So
Like the.
so in a triangle,
the
the angle of a triangle is what you're referring to.
Yeah. That's what.
I don't think it refers to straight lines. I think
Oh.
cusp is specific for curved lines.
Okay, that's
Because
like
if it's a straight line, it would just be called an angle or maybe an edge or a point. Technically, a cusp is a point. An angle is a point. It's a corner. It's an apex. It's the apex of an angle. Apex being the point where the first line or the first curve changes direction. That's what the cusp is. It's when the first curve, whichever one you choose is the first, changes directions and it creates a point. That is what a cusp is. So you'll see them in, I guess, cartoon waves, patterns. Some patterns will show cusps. Archways. You know archways? Do you know what archways are? Or an arch?
Yeah.
It's a structural shape. It's like,
is it like this half circle kind of thing?
yeah. It's like
but
a crescent.
It's longer. There's like it's
It's
combination of rectangle and. Is that
yeah. Let's not get too lost in explaining it. But yeah, it's a structural formation in bridges. You know, like those curves underneath, because they're strong, like an arch. Well, anyway, when multiple arches are joined together, they make cusps, because arches are curves. They're semicircles, and then when these semicircles meet each other, because there's multiple of them, they make cusps, because the points where they meet is cusp. I think it's a difficult example to understand, but it's technically the point where two curves meet. So it's like the corner of a triangle. Only triangles use straight lines, where cusps are created from curved lines.
Oh, so on the law of it's like, is it cusp?
Yeah. The bottom of a love heart.
The top.
And the top.
And the bottom too? Okay.
Yeah, because the bottom of a love heart, it's not straight lines, it's curved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And also, the top, where those two
Yeah.
what can we call them? Those two peaches meet and then make that
swan neck.
make that like Yeah, that's a cusp. The
Yeah.
top of a love heart.
See?
Yeah, and the bottom of a love heart, because they both
Oh.
involve curved lines. They're not
Mhm.
straight lines.
Yeah.
Because
That's a
if
good
someone draws,
example.
yeah, if someone draws a love heart with straight lines, I'm sure most people will look at it and they'll be like, it's not that much of a love heart. It's too straight. Whereas if it's curved lines,
Mm.
and then they meet at a point and make that angle, we give you the cusp. Yeah. So, yeah, it's like, like them apple bottom jeans. Yeah. Your butt cheeks, when they meet each other,
Mhm.
if they do meet each other, because for some people they don't. God bless them. Yeah, when your two butt cheeks meet together, that's two curved lines meeting each other
Mm.
to make the cusp. Or, in other words, the butt crack. The butt crack is a cusp.
Okay, I don't know if this is appropriate for
But it's
some of the
a good
audience.
example. It's like one of the best examples.
What
Yeah.
if some of our audience are kids?
Yeah, well, okay. The middle of your bum is a cusp. So, like, when you
The middle of your peaches.
yeah, the middle of your peaches, they are cusps. And yeah,
What's the origin of this word, or it's just always there?
the origin, I'm not sure. I think it's Latin.
Latin,
I think most of
English
English
or Latin.
is derived from
Yeah.
Latin.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing about English is it's always trying to grow.
Mm.
So the English language always adopts many words from many cultures.
Mm.
It's got words from so many different cultures. I'm sure many other languages adopt words from other cultures as well. But because I only know English, I know that some words are French, some words are Germanic, some words are Latin, some words are Oriental, like sushi. I don't think Japanese people use sushi as a word, do they?
No, I think that's Japanese. Sushi, sashimi.
Sashimi is Japanese.
Is sushi not?
I don't know. I'm not sure if Japanese people say sushi.
To me, say sushi.
Yeah,
I mean, one of my friends says sushi.
Yeah, but I think she says it because she knows us Western-borns have the idea of what sushi is. Because I don't think...
Does anime and stuff say that sushi?
Did they say sushi? I've never ever recalled them.
Onigiri or...
Yeah, they say specifically what it is, but I've never
I don't
heard
think
them
there's
say
sushi roll there. I never seen any sushi roll in manga or anime. I feel like sashimi at most. Or the nigiri. Yeah, nigiri, onigiri, like giri.
But I don't think they say sushi.
Yeah, I think it's American. I heard something about
Yeah.
like sushi actually come from American, something like that.
Yeah, I think it is too. Do you see what I mean?
Sushi roll is like first made and like...
Yeah, and I think that's English trying to adopt words. Because instead of saying sashimi, which might be difficult for a Westerner, they go, well, that sashi... Can you make that thing for me again? Oh, you want sashimi? Like, yeah, make me that sushi. Yeah, sushi. Can we just call it sushi so that's easier? They're like, oh, it is called sashimi. Like, no, let's just call it sushi. I think that's where it came from. I'm not sure. I could be absolutely wrong. But yeah. Anyway, enough about the English language. Cusp, it's not related to cups. It is about, cusp is pretty much two curved lines meeting at a point.
It's about love.
Yeah, it's about love hearts. Because a love heart has two cusps, two examples of cusps. Those 2 points, sharp points in a love heart, they are both examples of cusps. I think.
Cusps.
Cusps. Yeah. So the main take home for cusp, it is the meeting point of two curved lines,
Mm-hmm.
or it is pretty much the transition point between two different sides or ideas, like your star sign. You can also say cusp. Interesting enough, cusp can also be explained for different states. And I don't mean states as in geographical states like Texas and California. I don't even know if they're connected. It's more. Oh, you could say, yeah, you can say it for geographical
Yeah,
states
because
as well.
it's like curves.
Yeah, because if I'm at the border, I'm on the cusp of two states.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was talking about like states as in
State of mind kind of thing.
yeah, or states of consciousness or
Yeah.
states of existence.
Oh, how come?
Like for example, when you get shot by a bullet, I'm sorry to talk about such a violent thing. When you get shot by a bullet, you're not instantly dead in that second. You're actually going through a cusp of living to death. So when you're dying, that is a cusp.
Oh.
Because you're on the cusp between being alive and being not alive.
I guess it's like the wave again, like in a way. Philosophically, like the wave of life and death, and you're like in the middle.
Yeah. So if
In
we
a
want to get
sense.
whoa, you just opened up Pandora's box. If you want to get deep with this, yeah, philosophically, if you want to look at it this way, it's a little pessimistic, but we are technically on the cusp of life. We are technically dying every day. Slowly, our body is bringing us closer to our death. That's kind of sad and deep. Yeah. I like to think of it every day we are living. So I don't want to think of myself as on the cusp. That's that means I'm waiting for the end. I'm not waiting for the end. I got too many things to worry not to worry about. I got too many things that I want to do to be concerned about the end. I'm going to do everything I can. But let's not talk about this philosophy right now. So back to the explanation of different states. You can say when I don't know, as a boy, I have this kind of thing. Like as a boy, and then you gotta go try pick up chicks, and you're with your friends, and you all get excited, like, oh, come on, Johnny's gonna go and try to talk to that chick and get her number. When you go through that, that's you being on the cusp from kind of being a boy to a man, like that transition, like when the act of trying to court a woman, that is the cusp of a boy turning into a man. Because once you have attempted and successfully courted a lady, a woman, you can be acknowledged as a man.
So what does it mean? I didn't really get it.
It's the transition. It's the transition between one state, being a boy, to the second state, being a man. That is what the cusp is. Like when we see Johnny talking to that female and successfully getting her number, we can say, "Oh man, Johnny, look at him. He's on the cusp to manhood." So you can say he's on the transition. Another weird way to look at it is when you boil water. When water is boiling, it is technically on the cusp from being a liquid to becoming a gas.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's in a sense that's a cusp. Or when you're cooking food, it is on the cusp of being raw food to cook food. So the act of
Oh.
cooking it is the cusp. It's the transitional period.
Mm.
It's the period of change. Yeah, the period of
Mm.
change, or the transitional period from one
I
state to
guess.
another.
Sorry to cut you off. It's kind of related to the graph that you just told me earlier at the
Mhm.
start. Because like in the graph, when it's kind of meat, it's kind of like showing the transition, this change.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
changing direction because a
Yeah.
curve usually curves in a particular direction.
Mm.
But when it reaches that cusp,
Mm.
that point where it then changes direction
Mm.
into another curve, that's a cusp.
Mm-hmm.
I think a cusp can also be the point between a straight line and a curve. For example, a semicircle. You know, a semicircle at the
Yeah.
bottom, it's
Yeah.
flat,
Mm.
but the rest of it is curved. I
Mhm.
think even that corner is considered a cusp.
Oh.
I think. I'm not sure. Because I wouldn't call it an angle. Because
You
one
can
of
make an angle out of that.
yeah, but if you zoom in quick, like deep enough, you will see
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that's not a straight line. That's a
Yeah.
curve. So it technically can't be an angle.
Yeah.
Angles are for two straight rigid
That line,
lines.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hmm.
So I'm guessing that point, any point of any curve
Mm.
where it changes direction abruptly, is a cusp.
Mm.
Like when you're a boy and all of a sudden you're a man.
What if they have another name for the circle, half circle, and a line?
There could be. There actually could be. But for now, we don't know.
Yeah.
And for now, we're going to use cusp to
Cusp.
compensate.
And for the love.
Mm. Yes. And I think that's all I can really give you for understanding cusp. Do you understand it a bit more now?
Yeah, it often a new whole word for me.
Mm. But you do understand what cusp is now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try to think of it as the middle point of two different things, two different directions, two different states,
Mm.
two different. What was the other thing? Horoscopes and star signs.
Oh yeah, that's the first point we talked about.
So when they're talking about someone on the cusp, sadly they've gone so because the science, and I know everyone's going to blast me when I say the science of astrology, because it's not yet accepted as a science, and it's not, I understand, but the study of astrology is still a bit too loose and open where anyone can be a cusp. It's so silly. Because like even if you're like 20 days apart from the cusp, you can still be part of that cusp. Like, oh, you've got a bit of this in you, you got a bit of that. Like, I don't know. It's like, everyone wants to be something. Everyone wants to be part of everything. Like, you're not a Leo, mate. All right, you're born nowhere near the Leo season, so you're not a Leo. So just give it up.
Mm.
Sorry, I've had to tell some people that.
You're just like ranting
Yes.
on the mic.
Yes,
I get it, you're frustrated, but Coco.
it's frustrating.
we gotta spread the love, okay? The cusp,
The cusp, yeah.
not the
The double cusp.
not the angle.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I won't have an angle anymore.
Yeah.
All right, that's all we got. And I hope that everyone now understands
The
what
cusp
it means
cusp.
to be on the cusp.
is the love. I like that.
Anyway, take home message. Cusp is the middle point of two different things. Whether it be states of mind, states of being, states of your zodiac, or two different curved lines meeting each other. It's the point. It's the middle point. It's the transition. It is the cusp.
And the love.
Thank you, everybody. Be well. Love and light.